Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
In today's top story, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has delivered a clear and urgent warning. He says Russia's refusal to agree to a ceasefire is making peace talks nearly impossible. This statement comes just hours after a high-profile summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, held in Anchorage, Alaska. Despite global attention, the meeting ended without a ceasefire deal, leaving key questions unanswered about the future of the Ukraine war. Let's take a closer look at what happened, and what it means. On August 17, 2025, President Zelensky spoke to reporters, stating that Russia's ongoing aggression is blocking all paths to peace. He said the situation is becoming more complicated, and emphasized that a ceasefire is the foundation for any real negotiations. The war, now in its fourth year, has devastated large parts of Ukraine. Zelensky's message was clear: without halting the violence, diplomacy cannot move forward. At the same time, attention shifted to the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska. It was the first face-to-face meeting between the two leaders since Trump returned to the White House in January 2025. The summit was filled with high-profile visuals, military aircraft flyovers, red carpet welcomes, and private motorcade meetings. But beneath the show, the outcome fell short. President Trump came into the talks aiming for a major diplomatic breakthrough. However, rather than pressing for an immediate ceasefire, he introduced a broader peace proposal. In response, President Putin made a strong demand: Ukraine must give up control of parts of Donetsk and Luhansk in return for freezing the current battle lines. Trump hinted at possible U.S. security guarantees but offered no specifics. Ultimately, the summit ended with no signed deal and no ceasefire, only vague promises of continued dialogue. Experts watching the summit noted the strong focus on optics over substance. From the carefully staged handshake to the joint limo ride, the event seemed designed for the cameras. Body language analysts say Trump initially appeared deferential, before trying to project authority later in the meeting. While these signals matter, they don't replace real progress on the ground. So what does this mean for Ukraine and the world? Zelensky's warning shows the growing distance between what Ukraine urgently needs, a ceasefire, and what was actually offered in Alaska. Skipping over that step, and jumping straight to territory discussions, is seen by many as rewarding aggression. European leaders have also voiced concern. They insist that any agreement must respect Ukraine's borders and sovereignty. Ignoring the ceasefire step could risk legitimizing land gained by force. There's also growing debate over President Trump's approach. Critics say he may be pushing for a quick win on the international stage, possibly ahead of major elections or policy goals. Supporters argue he's trying to end the war quickly. But either way, without a ceasefire, peace remains far away. Meanwhile, President Putin gains a major platform. Being seen negotiating directly with the U.S. President boosts his image, especially back home, while the war continues on the ground. To sum it all up, President Zelensky says no ceasefire means no peace. The Trump-Putin summit generated global headlines, but little action. And while the world watched, the violence in Ukraine continued. Thanks for joining us. For more updates on Ukraine, world diplomacy, and international negotiations, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and let us know in the comments. Do you believe this summit was a step toward peace, or just political theater?